just as Maximilian I laid the foundation. His grandson, Charles V, built the masterpiece. Born in 1500, Charles inherited a land empire so immense. It was said to be the first on which the sun never set. Charles V became the most powerful man in Europe not by conquest, but by clever marriages arranged by his grandparents. By the age of 19, he had inherited a vast, diverse empire from every corner of his family tree. From his father's side, Maximilian I, the Austrian hereditary lands, Archduke of Austria, and the Burgundian territories, Lord of the Netherlands. From his mother's side, Ferdinand and Isabella of Spain, the crowns of Castile and Aragon, King of Spain, which included the kingdoms of Naples, Sicily, and Sardinia, and, most importantly, the enormous and growing Spanish colonies in the Americas. In 1519, he was elected the Holy Roman Emperor. This gave him theoretical authority over hundreds of German princes and cities in Central Europe. Think about it. A single man ruled over Germany, Austria, the Netherlands, Spain, and all of Spain's New World gold and silver mines. Ruling such a massive, fragmented empire was less of a glory and more of a constant, exhausting struggle. Charles V faced three main enemies throughout his reign. 1. The French rivalry. The King of France, Francis I, was completely surrounded by Habsburg lands and saw Charles as a threat to French survival. The two monarchs fought a series of costly wars for control of vital areas, especially the wealthy Duchy of Milan in northern Italy. 2. The Ottoman advance. From the east, the powerful Ottoman Empire, led by Suleiman the Magnificent, was constantly pushing into Europe, threatening Charles's Austrian lands and Hungary. Charles V saw himself as the leading defender of Christian Europe against this Islamic power. 3. The Protestant Reformation. Perhaps his greatest challenge came not from a foreign army, but from a German monk named Martin Luther. In 1517, Luther challenged the authority of the Catholic Church, sparking the Protestant Reformation. As a devout Catholic, Charles V believed it was his sacred duty to maintain religious unity. But the German princes used the Reformation as an opportunity to gain more power and weaken the emperor. He spent decades fighting wars against his own Protestant princes. Charles V was constantly traveling, moving his court across his territories, from Spain to the Netherlands to Germany to Italy, trying to solve one crisis after another. He spoke several languages and tried to rule each country according to its own laws. But the strain was enormous. By the mid-1550s, after nearly 40 years on the throne, Charles was exhausted, burdened by his failures to stop the Reformation and his endless wars. In a truly stunning move, Charles V chose to abdicate, to voluntarily give up his crowns. He gave the Holy Roman Empire, the Austrian lands, Bohemia, and Hungary to his younger brother, Ferdinand. He gave Spain, the Netherlands, and the vast American Empire to his son, Philip II. Charles retired to a remote monastery in Spain, where he lived out his final years in quiet reflection, proving that even the most powerful man on earth could eventually be overwhelmed by the complexity of his own kingdom. He failed to unite the Holy Roman Empire and prevent the division of the Church, but he successfully created a global Habsburg dynasty that would dominate European history for centuries to come.